Hey YouTube, new spot, new day. I think I'll talk about answering questions, comments and stuff. I gotta stop answering the negative ones. At least this way, because you get bogged down in it. I'll do that on Facebook if you want to find me on there. I actually accept trolls. I got like 10,000 followers on there, or whatever the limit is, 5,000, I guess. But I keep it around 4,500 just for trolls. And well, the odd new flat earthers and stuff I'll let in, but mostly it's for trolls. Um, so you want to troll me up? That's the spot. Um, Jason Logan, and I think Hot to Thoughts on there is my alias. Um, what was your comment? Oh, certifications. Yes, I do have certifications. Carpentry. The I do, but I don't for the plumbing and electrical. I work with Red Seals so that um, everything's being signed off on. It's all legal. Anything that I've worked on, right? Cosmetic shit. Obviously, you don't need anybody. Um, anyway, uh, 3D graphic artist. I got certification on that. I took it in college. Cooking. I got culinary course, and I got all the safety and food and health and all that shit. As far as heavy equipment and stuff like that, no. And mechanics, no, I don't. I did take courses in mechanics, IC engine, powertrain, and chassis. Got great marks in it. I actually taught the IC engines course 1 year because we got a new teacher, so he needed somebody to help him teach the class or whatever. So I took it with him and retook it so that I could help him pick up from the old shop teacher because he transferred. And yeah, I think that's it as far as certifications go. I don't know. Oh, I got my hours for plumbing. I could go challenge a couple blocks if I cared about that shit. I really don't though. It's like a marriage certificate. In God's eyes, you're married when you have sex, right? I've worked with Red Seal carpenters coming out of the union and stuff. I wouldn't get them to build a fucking doghouse. They've never built anything. They've done the paperwork and they built scaffolding for 7 years. Maybe a couple little things here and there that they actually built. Most of them have never actually done a job. They're just they're too expensive. Nobody's gonna hire union guys until they're already red sealed, and then they're coming out and starting to do jobs, and they don't have a fucking clue. I had to fucking notch railings and shit so that the front door would open, and fucking just no foresight, no thought, no understanding and no experience, right? This is what the problem is. I've made stupid fucking mistakes too, but I did it in my first year, not in my sixth. Right? Funny. So the paper doesn't fucking mean a thing. It's just a piece of fucking paper says that you can pass a test. That's it. It's not anything fancy. So yes, I can have it. I do, but I don't carry it. I don't look at it. I don't use it. It's fucking useless. It's just a fucking piece of paper. And then with heavy equipment, even once you get the piece of paper, if you go do the course, nobody hires you. It's so hard to get your 2 years experience. It's fucking near impossible to get your first couple years experience unless you know somebody. And I got like 5 years experience or whatever. underneath a fucking, again, underneath a full, uh, I don't know, union guy that apprenticed me on that as well. So, and one of the good union guys, like in that trade, it's a whole different story. Those guys fucking know their shit, know what they're talking about. They can run those pieces of equipment like you wouldn't believe. Great big fuckers, and they're putting them into these little tiny spots and doing all kinds of shit. And yeah, so again, I'd have an easier time getting a job than somebody with a piece of paper on heavy equipment and rock trucks and dump trucks and fucking all that stuff, forklifts and scissor lifts and man lifts and all those things. And I did get licensed for the forklift and the scissor lift somewheres. Can't remember what warehouse I was working in that we all had to do a stupid little safety course or whatever to in order to be in there running anything. So we were doing walls or ceilings or something, shelf units, I have no idea. But I do remember having to do the little course or whatever. I don't know if they gave you a piece of paper. Probably did. I don't know. Pieces of paper, so important. Foolish. Absolutely foolish. That's why we're so heavily taxed. All those stupid little pieces of paper that you guys think everybody should have and need and stuff like that. I was taught you're only as good as your last job. So you got to do a good job every time because your reputation's everything in carpentry. It wasn't until I went out into the world and worked with companies, with guys with pieces of paper, that I started to hear, hide that from the homeowner. Don't worry about that. Cover that up. Don't show anybody. Don't tell anybody. All the fucking bullshit. And like major framing infractions. Right? And I know all the code, of course, right? So it's like, what the fuck, man? How do you guys run companies like this? Right? Just puts a bad taste in your mouth for the whole fucking trade. And it's the papered guys that are fucking doing that shit. Right? Like, fuck. That was the fucking Home Depot. Is who that was, the installers for the Home Depot. There was no headers in the whole fucking house. The header was this big, the window was fucking this big. And the header was hanging in there. No extra fucking stud even put in on the other side to fasten the fucking windows to. Like there was nothing. And just a big fucking hole. And we were taking out big old wooden frame windows that they had stuck in there and putting in these fucking vinyl fuckers. I went outside and looked at the roof of the house. It's going like that over every freaking window and stuff. Don't tell the homeowner. Real nice young couple just bought their house. Fucking got ripped right off. They're putting a daycare in the basement. Got kids in the fucking upstairs sleeping and shit. You got your piece of paper. Fuck. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. And because of government officials, all this tax, all this bullshit, all this other stuff that gets thrown in there makes it so fucking expensive. That in order for a company to do a good job and do everything correctly and be right on the up and up, they usually go out of fucking business. Because you're paying your men fair, you're looking after your clients, you're doing a good job on every job, and you're buying good materials on every job. Right? So you cost double what this fucking douchebag over here with a piece of paper costs. But your job is going to last. triple over this fucking douchebag's job. Right? But because you got a middleman, government, in there saying, oh, you need this paper and you need this and you need that and tax on this and tax on that and more tax on that, ends up fucking everybody. So if you just didn't have your fucking pieces of paper and you knew who was coming into your house to work on it or whatever, you got references. I don't know, whatever. Just make more sense to me. Seems like that would be the smart thing to do as a society, right? But we got greedy guys who have no skills, who need to be rich for nothing in their minds, right? So those greedy fuckers, politicians, make it impossible for the rest of us. And then you got stupid social programs that they fund, like welfare and stuff, which, okay, yeah, welfare's good in a way, I guess, but technically most people that are on it can't afford to live unless you got a bunch of kids, and then you got a bunch of fucking people on it generationally, like, and having kids just to get the bigger check, and more kids, and raise those kids to only know how to be on welfare. And then if you talk about, no, I'm not going to fucking pay your fucking bills for you, you fucking lazy shit, they get screaming and yelling and hollering and freak right out like they're owed. Like that's our responsibility. Not my fucking responsibility. Now, if you have unemployment, that's a whole different ballgame, right? Or if you got disability, that's another whole different fucking ballgame. But if you just want welfare because you're too good to work at McDonald's or Tim Hortons or something, you think you're fucking somebody, even though you're nobody? So you get welfare guys and girls, and the guys are all drug dealers on the side, or they're cash jobbing it, or they're whatever. Right? But they're soaking all of us for a fucking check, and then they say, oh, well, we're soaking the government. No, you're not. Government doesn't make money. They just take money. So even if you're a fucking, like a necessary government thing, like a cop or a road guy or whatever, which again is totally fucking, would be better private, right? You cut out the middleman. There's more money up for everybody that's actually involved, right? Make it get it smaller so that the community goes to town hall, everybody throws in and pays for the police force. It's the same thing, but you don't need to pay the guy in the middle, 40-year politicians and federals and all this hierarchy, and the cop would get more. Each cop, the private force, they would be competitive because you'd have a whole bunch of private forces out there wanting to get your neighborhood, so they would be competitive at it, and they'd be better trained and all that kind of stuff because there's competition there, and they're going to be more fair to the people because it's us that hired you and pay you, right? You don't look after those crook politicians, you look after us. You work for us. Those crook politicians you arrest, right? That'd be the way it would be, right? And then as far as roads go, usually, and I've said this on videos before, usually people like me build the dirt roads into a subdivision or for a landowner privately, and then pay for the telephone poles to go into the houses. It's like $5,000 a pole. And then eventually give it over to the government to maintain it. So why give it over? Fuck them. Just maintain it. Pay for it privately. Again, as a community, you hire pavers, you hire plow guys, you hire whatever, what you need. And the service will be provided willingly by people who are entrepreneurs that are going to want to do that shit. And they're going to be more competitive and lucrative toward the employee in most cases. Same with the school. Same fucking thing. It's all just, if it was private, you would have all that tax money back in your pocket. And it would be a competitive private market where the price would be affordable right across the board. And there'd be a variety of different price schools. You could fucking go to a rich school where you pay that much, or you can go to these other installations depending on what it is, and you choose. And Christian if you want to be Christian, or you want to be Jewish if you want to be whatever, right? And you could figure at that point, you would, by like grade 4, grade 5, you could have your kid assessed and say, oh, well, he's really gifted at this. Let's put him in this school that really pushes those gifts. He's going to make a good carpenter. Let's put him in fucking carpentry school where he learns all that stuff right away, because that's what he likes, and that's what he, you know what I mean? That's what he's apt for. And you'd be able to fucking tell that by the time they were in grade 4 or 5. Especially nowadays with all this technology and shit we got. So that they can try all these things. And now, obviously, we'd have to have them trying other things. So you'd have to have, like, schools that teach agriculture, farming, fucking fishing, all that kind of shit, right? And you would actually end up with better farmers that are taught better, and they're growing up and they know how to fucking regulate their fields and switch the crops around and do all these things so that they didn't have to fucking, we weren't burning out the soil and shit like that, making deserts. And it would all easily flow, is I guess what I'm getting at. So your pieces of paper are a hindrance to the forward momentum of our society, as much as you love them. And especially the higher up you get. Because, like, trades papers are almost fucking feasible and understandable. You get up into these university people that are, like, fucking studying people or whatever, like there's many pointless jobs out there that and educational ranks that are just like, well, what are you going to use that for? Nothing. Doesn't make any sense. And now they're teaching all this equity fucking shit and all this stuff and whatever it's called, gender studies and stuff. What are you going to do with that? Oh, I'm going to cause gender racism, basically, whatever it's called, sexism. But I'm going to make hundreds and hundreds of sexisms, because I'm going to make a whole bunch of different genders for everybody to hate each other more. Because we don't hate each other enough yet. Let's make more hate and division and separation and fuck up a whole bunch of societal norms so that you don't hurt one person's feelings or whatever. Life's hard and your feelings are going to get hurt. Sorry. But I'm not sorry. Really, I shouldn't even say that. It's psychologically bad for my brain and yours for me to say that word. So, I'm just trying to think of how to turn that into a thank you. So I'll thank you. Whatever. Man, that just made me tired and worn out trying to flip that around because it's such a crazy subject. Um, so, anyways, your degrees are pointless. Your pieces of paper are meaningless and are a drag on the whole world and the whole society, and you're slowing us down. Sorry about your luck. I know that you think that you're great and you think that you're all this, but you're slowing us down. And you're not just slowing us down a little, because when you look into, if you look deeper into everything, um, the your school system is all lies and misrepresentations. Right? They don't like the word lie. We like the word misrepresentation. Well, I like the word truth, fact, science. What are those words? Why do you need any misrepresentations in school? Represent the fucking information properly. Misrepresent it on purpose. That's fucking insanity. And then make us pay for it forcefully. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I think of your pieces of paper. Have a good day. You too.